Dink, dink, dink. What do we got?
Just gonna give you guys an update on the grants and get some direction on which way you'd like to go.
We want money.
How are things going in Fromberg?
Same old, same old. Nothing ever gets done. Finally got some paving done a little bit. At school. Nothing else has happened.
Do the kids here start next week too, or?
No, it starts Wednesday. This Wednesday.
Other.
Are you watching the middle wall there?
I'm holding the chairs up.
Oh, okay.
If I move, these chairs will hold out. When did you start school?
Thursday.
You start Wednesday.
We start Thursday, so. Got all your stuff done?
Pretty much. Done on whatever I'm gonna do.
I got one little bank of windows and just, they're all in there tearing stuff apart. No, so yeah.
We lost our 5th grade teacher. That's 2 days ago, it was last Friday or something.
Who's the fifth grade?
She was a new
Free number
teacher.
evening.
For doing what?
For free number evening.
Went tomorrow instead, yeah.
Oh, honey.
I'll bring more money and they didn't pay the
Oh, no, we had
contract.
other plans. So.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you what. Well, we don't have an English teacher, high school English teacher. So they're doing Montana Academy.
We've got a couple new teachers, 2 or 3 new teachers, very new English for time.
Mm-hmm.
English is one of the shy sometimes.
You got my copy of the letter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, we have a very new science teacher, but man, she's got it together.
Good, how are you doing?
I looked in the English room today and he's got stuff hanging because the ceiling, you know. Does he know this is high school? And also the fire marshal doesn't like hangings.
No, they don't like hangings.
So
You
he's
have
got
to,
hangings all over.
you have to explain to those people, you know? What was I had a teacher the other day that said, I said, she goes, you know what these are for? They have the coolest things there to hang stuff from the ceiling. I said, go ask Russ about hanging anything from the ceiling. I'm not responsible.
It's nice not getting caught in traffic anymore out there on the construction between Rockville and Laurel.
Oh, yeah.
It makes a big difference.
They try and go red line and get stuck in Julie.
Oh, that is bad. That one backs up hard.
They had it backed up both ways.
Mhm.
Saving the Bear Creek and clearing up Roberts.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they did it over Hurley Rodeo, they must have just kept lane open or something.
It's that time of year.
They did do a good job at the school, that was good. Went to drive through and check it out, and we still did 2 miles an hour, thinking there's gonna be all the potholes.
Hey, people are even paying attention to the handicap signs.
Yeah.
Aaron would have been here, but he was
Oh, you know, getting that sticker.
probably on
There you go.
an airplane.
Hanging sign.
That's what I heard
Kids.
from that kids that
Yeah,
going back.
yeah.
And I can't,
Definitely.
my brother's kid used to fly, but they just put him on a plane and he $50 and they have an escort service.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
so you don't fly with them unless something has changed.
Well, he's probably moving that way as I'm sure.
Chad is
It's only
here.
64.
How you doing, Nate?
That was
Good. Sorry, we're running just a little bit
4
late.
years old.
Hi, Chad.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to see.
It's hard to say what
This week.
Yeah. Like down out to the weekend, yeah, and then today was a
Because
Monday.
that started,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
It's
think.
a-
Isn't
he's
it
like-
always?
He's like, I heard your phone going off a bunch. I mean, I had about 8 missed messages.
You did get one?
Oh, yeah.
Oops, sorry
Well,
about that.
most of the time I don't even get signed in.
Okay, we're going to call the special meeting to order. The reason for this meeting is to get update and information on the grant applications. And Chad we're going to skip the amenities this afternoon because of time constraints. Chad will go ahead and let us know what's going on. Did you get a copy of this?
I did. Oh, yeah.
For the TSEP grants? Okay.
So, good evening, guys. Here. So you got notified, so like we talked about, you got the TSEP planning grant
Right.
for the PER, which is up to $10,000, 1-to-1 match. The problem is, DNRC still hasn't released their planning grant applications, and they're saying they won't even be out till September.
Right.
The DLA grants, the Delivering Local Assistance, that's the House Bill 652, the extra money.
Yeah.
Those are due at the end of September. So there's no way we can wait for a DNRC grant, get it under contract, do a PER and a DLA grant application in the timeline. So you guys are faced with some options. The first option would be to proceed with just the TSEP money. You'd have to find the match from your own reserve funds or a different source. Intercap does loans just for PERs. If you can get it out of reserves, it's always better than a loan to me. That would give us time. It's going to be tight, but if we got going right away on the PER, we could still get the DLA grant in the end of September. Your second option would be to wait for DNRC, do the application, get the money for your match, the other half of the PER, and then look at going the traditional route and applying for TSEP and DNRC grants next spring. And that's the ones that kick into the legislature, similar to the Lincoln project, and it goes on that biennial cycle. The applications would be due next spring, they'd get approved or considered at the legislature the following spring, so.
The regular session.
Yeah. And just as a refresher, this was to update the PER and try and go after the DLA grants for the second crossing under the railroad and the highway and replacing fire hydrants, which is the project that's kind of hanging out there from your water PER. You got the backup well installed.
Right.
So that was the other high priority in the PER. So I just wanted to kind of give you an update, kind of lay out some options, and then get direction from you guys on how you'd like to go.
What's the estimated cost of the PER?
20,000. What to get it all updated and into the new outline and update
And we
costs.
come up with 10 and we match 10.
Right, you have a grant right now for 10. It requires a dollar for dollar match.
Right.
Our hope had been to use the DNRC planning grant for that match, but they're not even going to have the applications out till September, so we want to get that grant award till October or November.
So we have a 30-day window, basically, to, if we get our PER done,
If you get I'm sorry, the 30-day window for,
you said that grant is,
the DLA
it comes
grant,
out September 1st? That's when they,
the planning grant or the DLA grant to go to pay for the project?
the DLA.
It's due the end of September, September
Okay.
30th. So if we started right away on your PER update, it'd be tight, but we could get it updated and we could get the grant application done by the deadline of 30 September. But I would essentially need you guys' direction tonight to, let's do it, or we're going to run out of time.
If we did give $10,000 on top of the grant money, would we be able to get that back?
No. Once you spend the match, it's spent. You can't get reimbursed for it.
This is what we were gonna put in 5,000 on
Yeah, because we were gonna get 5,000 from the
5,000.
Yeah, for an
DNRC.
updated PR, DNRC is 5,000. We were gonna ask for the full 10, but worst case, you'd get a $5,000 grant to update your PR, you would have to put 5,000 in this.
anyway. We okayed 5,000.
Mhm.
So what we're looking at is adding another 5. To go after 750.
Right,
Well, up to 750, but your project's 450, 500 total is the project.
and that's to bring the line under the road, under tracks, across the other side. Does that include another lateral line?
No, it would tie into the
That would
two
just tie
laterals you
into
already
the
have.
two laterals we already have.
Give you a second crossing under the highway and
Right.
the railroad tracks. Plus, it was 21 hydrants, but I think 3 have been replaced.
Okay,
So that, you still have 18, and the hydrants actually add up to quite a bit.
yes, I know.
You know, at $4,500, $5,000 a
Right.
pop.
Right.
Because you have a lot of hydrants that don't work, they're on too small leads if they don't provide adequate fire.
But we have to look at shut-off valves and gate valves for those hydrants also.
Yeah, we would come from a T all the way
Right.
out with the new line, that's the 6-inch plus,
Mhm.
the new gate valve, the new fire hydrant. So, and, I can't promise, my estimate's 20,000, it's time and materials, so you're gonna pay half or whatever it costs, and you got a month and a half to write a PER and do a grant, it's gonna be tight, so.
Yeah,
I do everything I can to bring it in under budget,
and the
but.
second option is to wait
Mhm.
and then submit to DNRC for the second half of the grant and the,
Yes,
and then submit the application, which will go to the legislature and
so
during the next
we
session.
could wait for the DNRC to release their planning grant funds, apply for that this fall. Craig Erickson, our grant writer, thinks that you guys, your PR is old enough that it's not really an update, even though it's an update,
Right,
that you could get the full 10. Worst case, you get the 5, like you discussed, for an update. That would pay for the PER, hopefully 100% grant, but we've missed the DLA grant application for the project. But then we could look at next spring applying to TSEP or DNRC for capital project grants.
And that has to wait for the legislature, which is a year and a half on.
Yes, so the applications are due next spring, they get reviewed the following summer, fall, and then they're brought forward at the legislature for approval, so it would be 2021.
mhm,
So that in 2019, they just approved the last round of TSEP grants. They did clear the slate with House Bill 652, they funded them all, they funded them first come, first served until they run out of money, and if projections are correct, they can fund them all, and if projections come in under, they can't. But
Right.
there won't be as
That's-
many reapplications.
That's what I'm looking at too, is the money that the committee decides to fund, and if it passes on the floor,
Yeah.
But even moving forward on any of that stuff downstream, we're still gonna need an updated PER regardless.
Yeah, you can't apply for any of these grants without the PER.
So in the way I look at it, we're already into it 5 on our end, and
Mhm.
5 more is the cost of one hydrant, and Lord knows we need to update, so.
And I can talk to Kirsten and stuff, but I believe we have money in our water and our utilities to pay
Mhm.
for, because we'll be doing it, we'll talk about budget on the 27th, but I believe we have enough reserves in water that we should be able to come up with because I told her to budget for 5 to 10
Right.
on the grant
Mm-hmm.
application itself. And so she says we think we should be able to make the 10 if we need to. But I can call her and double check tomorrow.
We should be able to, and we can, you know,
But we
a
have
lot
to,
of
you know,
things.
we have other things that are,
Right, too, that's
It's
true,
true,
and that's
so
why
that's-
I'm going on both sides of the budget here, so.
yeah, so that's why I said I can call her and ask her if we can go up to 10 on that.
But we aren't gonna have the expense this year in the budget that we had last year because of everything else that was going on.
But there's other things that we need to take into
Right.
consideration.
So we do have to allow for the project out on the highway and this project down here that's coming out of the water as well, right?
What, that will come out of sewer, the Tomahawk will come out of water,
Right.
Rios will come out of sewer.
Sewer.
But it shouldn't be that much. If we go with the plan to come to the property line and tap into Blewett, that shouldn't cost us hardly anything at all. What is gonna cost us some money is to trench on the highway easement and bring the water line down to the property line for Tomahawk.
Right.
6,000 to bore, right?
I
Right.
don't know that we have to bore
And
it.
we don't have to bore. We can bring a trencher in that will dig 5 to 6 feet.
So,
rather than the bucket
Chad,
truck.
do you have an opinion on which one of these options we have the best chances of getting approved for?
So, the DLA money, there's gonna be a lot of applications, it's gonna be very competitive.
That's the first one?
It is gonna be very competitive. I think you guys are gonna be as competitive as anybody out there. There's a lot of things as we've gone through in great deal. Your needs, we can show the hydrants with the fire at the cowboy stuff,
Right.
real life scenarios.
Right.
You're gonna be as competitive as any other community we're working with. Of course, there's no promises. The beauty of the DLA grant is there's no match required. So we can ask for
Right.
100% of the project.
That's huge.
They want you to have some skin in the game, but we'd make the story, your skin in the game is you paid for the well with the loan.
Right.
And you just got done doing this multi-million-dollar wastewater project and you're
Yeah.
working towards this.
That's skin.
And then the DLA grant, even if it doesn't work out, you still have the option of turning around and looking
Right.
at TSEP and DNRC.
If
But if you miss DLA and you go for TSEP and
And
DNRC,
don't
the
get it.
traditional route, there's no going back. We don't know if they're gonna renew the DLA program ever again, if
Right.
it's a one-time thing. I can't make you any promises, but we're working on quite a few of these with communities, and you're as competitive as anybody we're working with. It's gonna come
That
down
don't
to
give me a warm fuzzy feeling.
well, I don't wanna give you,
False expectations.
right, you're gonna get top-notch. We pride ourselves on our success with getting grants. We got a ton of grants on the wastewater. It's a whole new program. I mean, it's never been done. So we're going through it in detail, and we've scoured this thing back and forth and how to get the scoring. And
They just approved that DLA this last session, didn't
the last session,
Yeah,
we
it's
got
first
rushed
time,
through, and the legislature, the legislation said that applications could be submitted starting June 1st. They didn't even have the guidelines out until
Yeah.
Right.
July 1st. So it's like, well, how do we do that? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a moving target. It's very similar to a coal board application, which we do a ton of those, and I've had huge success at the coal board.
they? So if we submit, application for a grant, without the DNRC, and we're looking at the extra 10,000, right? So if we submit an application for a grant and it does not get approved this session, and they don't have any money the next session for the DLA, say they get rid of that altogether. So then can we go forward and actually apply to DNRC, TSEP,
What I would recommend,
MDOT for other grants available, or
so
is there anything out there that we could kind of fall back on if that wasn't.
If we apply to the DLA and we're unsuccessful, or you guys decide to go the traditional route, I would recommend that we can't count on the legislature for another DLA program or something similar.
Right. That's
So
what I'm wondering.
I would recommend you prepare next spring the applications to TSEP, not for the actual project,
Mhm.
and DNRC,
Right,
which we got both TSEP and DNRC grants for the lagoons.
right.
And then they go into the queue and through the process, and
But those are matching funds.
the TSEP requires, again, a 1-to-1 match. DNRC is $125,000 with no match. So if your project was $450, say it's $500, it's easy math, you gotta put in with $250. DNRC is $125, so you'd have to come up with a loan for the other $125.
Right.
Do you have to do the whole project?
No.
So
But
we
you
could
still
spend
are
their
gonna end up-
125.
We could try and target that when we look at different funding scenarios to phase it, and we do in the PRs, look at how can we maximize the leverage
Yeah.
of the grant funding. I mean, at this time, you guys have nothing into it right now. We haven't done anything.
Right.
I mean, we did the TSEP, we do that pro bono, it's not a big deal. We got the grant. It's just where you want to go from here. So,
I think we need a PER.
Another way I look at it, we were into it 5, and if we have the funds available to take 5, which is one more hydrant in Cost World,
I think rather go for a roll of dice and go for the.
I think there's
The
more
first
to
one.
be gained on, because we're still getting a PER, which still is prepping us for next year.
We're not throwing that money away.
No, I mean, we're still getting something.
right. And like Wayne Gretzky says, you can't score if you don't shoot.
Right.
And I would hate to see the DLA, maybe we're thinking that they're getting all these applications and they don't, and they
Right.
don't even give away
Well,
the
that's
10
what I'm
million.
thinking too, is so they allocated that money this year
Yep.
at this last session
And
for
they want it
DLA, but
gone.
that doesn't, that they haven't promised that they're gonna allocate this money every year,
There's no
at the next
promise that it'll ever
legislative
happen
session,
again.
yeah. and there's, so, you know,
The way it
that's,
was written
that
and
could have
set
been a
up,
one-time shot.
it is a one-time shot right now. They have the option to do something similar again,
Right,
but right now it's a one-time deal.
yeah.
Is this the one that caps the counties?
Yes, it's 1.5 million per county
Mhm.
Okay.
and 750 per project.
And there's some funds already allocated?
No,
No,
None.
the applications can be submitted anytime up till end of September, then they'll take all the applications.
I thought
and
when I read that thing that there was a project in Roberts that had already been green lighted for some ditch or something, ditch project.
Drainage.
Yeah.
It's a drainage you're doing over in Roberts.
I think that's a DNRC grant that was part of the legislature, the DNRC
Okay.
facility grants. And I'm guessing it's one of the irrigation districts, or the conservation district got a grant from DNRC. I'd have to go through them. We did not, we're still in an open cycle with CDBG and stuff with Roberts on their sewer. So we didn't have any in the last legislation forum for the water and sewer districts. But it could be one of the irrigation districts.
So all those funds are still until September 1.
The DLA funds, the 10.75 million for municipalities.
right,
And the 10.75 for schools, none of it has been allocated yet.
no,
It'll all
and they
be-
won't allocate anything, they
Until-
designate the funds in the legislature on the floor.